and welcome to Something Witchy, a Sabrina the Teenage Witch rewatch podcast. I'm Laura Cotter.
And I'm Skye Orchard.
And welcome, Manitoba. You've been here for a while, but I just noticed you.
Is it bad that I don't know where Manitoba is?
Canada.
Oh, is it the polar bear area we need?
It's next to Ontario. It's in between Ontario and Saskatchewan. It's the one that's like over
Minnesota and North Dakota. Nice.
Although, just pulled up the most recent stats and Ontario has passed them.
Ooh, battle between Manitoba and Ontario.
Oh, wait. Hold on. That's our all-time ones.
Oh.
Hold on. I gotta go back to the 30-day ones. No, Manitoba still has Ontario beat by 10 downloads.
Oh, what are you going to do, Ontario?
Compared to some of our states, Manitoba in the past 30 days is our biggest downloaders besides North Carolina.
North Carolina still leading the pack.
They're still doing a good job up there, down there, over there?
Out yonder.
I think we've already shouted out Wisconsin. So you don't get another one. You only get one. Don't get two.
Unless you guys get like in a fierce battle and then we'll like cage match announce it.
Then we'll build a fighting ring on the White House lawn.
Exactly.
Is it too soon?
You know, I was really hoping that storm would last.
Same.
But it lasted a bit.
You know what? Take solace in the fact that everybody there got so many bug bites.
It's true.
So many new cases of Lyme disease probably came out of that.
That algae pond is really drawing them in too.
Yeah. Speaking of bugs, we had a wasp discussion.
We did.
I spent a lot of time the past couple of days in gardens because I had an all-day meeting on Saturday up at Red Butte Garden, and we took a tour of their greenhouses, and I got poked. I don't know how, because I kept my arms so close, like inside my body. Somehow I brushed up against a cactus, and it put its little pricklies in my sweatshirt sleeve. Like I was wearing long sleeves too, and I guess when I crossed my arm, I got cactus pricklies in places no one should ever get cactus pricklies.
Oh no.
I didn't notice them for a couple days until like there were red spots. I'm like, why does it hurt so bad? And they're like this little teeny, they look like little short blonde hairs, and they're not. They're tiny little cactus pricklies. Anyway, I got cactus pricklies in my boot from Red Butte Garden.
Well, that's quite the souvenir.
I know, right? And then I went to Wasatch Community Gardens for work and did a tour of their gardens. Anyway, long story short, I've been around a lot of garden people, and I've spent a lot of time staring at my garden plants. This is also a continuation of the gardening discussion. And I was getting really annoyed because something is happening to my pepper plant. Nothing else is being eaten. My basil is fine. My strawberries, ever since I planted the marigolds next to my strawberries, they're great. My tomato, I don't think a nuclear holocaust could kill my tomato plant at this point. That thing is thriving. My pepper plant, like its leaves are like getting, like they almost look like they're burnt on the edges. And something is going to town on them. And it's driving me nuts because I don't really want to use pesticides because I don't want to hurt like the native pollinators. And so after all my time in gardens, I was like doing some research to figure out like what could be wrong with it. So I was like, now I have garden friends and I can send them pictures. Comes down, it's like probably aphids. And so I was doing some pruning. I was taking pruning shears. I was like cutting off like the lower leaves that were touching the soil. And I put them on the little table next to me. And then I went to gather up all the leaves. And there was like a cut in half aphid on the table that I had accidentally snipped in half. So it's aphids are my problem. So then I'm looking up aphids and I'm looking up like, can I find ladybugs and bring ladybugs over and they'll eat my aphids or whatever. And a lot of it was just like wasps. Wasps like aphids.
Oh no.
I'm like, I don't like wasps. And I don't really want to encourage wasps to come here. Well, apparently the wasps can find the aphids with or without my help. I was doing something on Sunday and I was cleaning and I was standing in front of my big window that look out on my balcony. And I see something that's very large flying in front of my window. And it is a wasp carrying an aphid.
Oh my gosh.
Like a big old aphid. And I'm like, you know what? If it's just one of you, I will allow one wasp and you can eat all the aphids you want. But if there I see two, then I will have to sacrifice my pepper plant and just hand it over to the aphids.
Ritual sacrifice.
I haven't seen it again. It was a very large aphid that it was like the same size as its body. So it's still probably having a feast on that aphid.
Yeah, I have like 3 to 4 active nests on my catio.
Ooh, no.
And sometimes I'll just glance over during a meeting and be like, oh, hi wasps, but they're not bugging me. Okay. I'm not bugging them. I keep forgetting until it's like midday and I'm in a Zoom meeting and I glance out of the corner of my eye and it's like, nope, I'm not spraying you right now.
Nope, do it at night. Kill them when they're sleeping.
Like the Sandman.
Best way to kill anyone. What are you drinking?
Some whiskey.
All right, it's a whiskey kind of night.
It's my birthday eve. I can have whatever I want.
It is your birthday, Eve. Happy birthday, Eve.
Oh, thank you.
I forgot to order your present. Is it okay if I get a present that's late?
Yeah, I don't care.
I was gardening it up this weekend and forgot about your present. Anything else going on in your life?
It's a great question. Well, speaking of bugs, I am trying to figure out how to counteract midges.
Ew.
Yeah, I've read the articles, I've read the Reddit. I realize that I am hiking in Scotland in August, which is peak midge season, but mosquitoes love me. Nothing keeps a mosquito away from me because I'm so sweet. And so I'm terrified that while the midges don't suck blood, they're going to be like, oh, tasty. Let's take bites out of you.
Yikes.
That's my bug dilemma. Forget those wasps. We're cohabitating. I'm not sure if I'll cohabitate with the midges or not.
Do midges carry disease?
I think they're just annoying. They're like biting gnats, it seems like. I don't know.
They're not known to transmit diseases in North America, but they do in tropical and subtropical regions.
I think this episode comes out like July 4th. So, Scottish friends, have any suggestions? I will have 17 days to purchase something from America, or then I'll be able to purchase from Scotland.
You know, while I am pro limiting insecticides for plants, for myself, deed it up. All the deed. I don't want a bug within a 5-foot radius of me. That is the answer based on Google. It was like DEET and long sleeves.
Yep.
All right, let's get into our episode, unless you have anything else.
No, let's leave the bugs behind.
For now.
Yep.
Sure, they'll find a way back in. They always do. This one was hard thinking of a question because we've already discussed first/weird jobs. And I'm pretty sure we've already talked about recurring dreams because I'm pretty sure I've already discussed my velociraptor dream on this podcast.
Yes, you have.
Okay. I will say, back to bugs. We're already back. Lately, I've been having a lot of dreams of bumblebees in my, like around my plants and in my garden, quote unquote garden.
Manifesting.
I just dreamed that there's like so many bumblebees and it's so peaceful and amazing. And I don't know what that means, but I've been dreaming of bumblebees. So So my third option question was, have you ever eaten a hot dog on a stick?
I feel like I've at least gotten like a drink from them.
Same. I'm pretty sure I've had lemonade.
Hot dog maybe, but if a mall has like Auntie Anne's, I'm gonna get those little pretzel dogs instead of an actual hot dog from Hot Dog on a Stick. Like, that's a no-brainer.
I love how you call it Auntie Anne's and not Auntie Anne's. That's so nice and proper. I'm like, Auntie Anne's.
It depends on the day. I guess I'm proper today.
Okay, mall pretzel ranking. Well, pretzel time doesn't exist anymore, which is a real sad thing for me. Wetzel pretzels, Auntie Anne's, or Auntie Anne's, or Pretzel Maker.
I don't think I've had a Wetzel pretzel.
Oh, okay.
But Auntie Anne's wins, and then Pretzel Maker. Sometimes, though, pretzels have started to, like, upset my stomach / give me heartburn. Like, I was in Market Street area of Philadelphia, and it's like, oh, their pretzels are good here. And I was like, oh, I can't have a pretzel. I think I'll get ill.
My preference is Pretzel Maker because the cheese is superior.
Oh, I can't do cheese. No, just like a salted pretzel.
Oh, I need cheese. Auntie Anne's is weird cheese. Pretzel Makers is like that good, cheap cheese. I like that they're a little bit underbaked, so it's basically just a ball of dough.
I do love an underbaked pretzel, especially when it's around the little hot dog from Auntie Anne's.
Auntie Anne's. I love that. I'm going to say it that way all the time now.
Have a pretzel from Auntie Anne's.
Auntie Anne's. Do they have Auntie Anne's in the UK? That's your job in Scotland, is to find an Auntie Anne. An Auntie Anne's.
And in Scotland, I can only call it Annie Anne's.
Annie Anne's. All right. This is going to be a long episode. Our notes are long on this one.
Oh, gosh.
So buckle in, everybody. It is season 3, episode 23, Sabrina the Sandman. Our TV guide description. Sabrina gets a summer job. Summer job?
Yeah,
She
I
gets a
questioned
job.
that. I was like, whoa, it's not summer yet.
Sabrina gets a summer job as the local Sandman and gets into trouble checking out her client's streams. Our streaming description, which is very similar, is employed as a Sandman. Sabrina gets into trouble dropping into other people's dreams. Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
It originally aired May 7th, 1999, although Hulu has hallucinated that it aired on March 26th, 1999. You want to know what happened on March 26th, 1999?
Something.
There are two things. Number one, the jury deliberations began for the Dr. Kevorkian trial.
Oh.
And number two, it was the initial outbreak of the Melissa computer virus. It basically took down a whole bunch of corporations and government agencies.
Yay, viruses.
Yeah. It was the first step in the FBI cyber division's creation, was this Melissa outbreak.
Yay, cybersecurity. What if Hulu is employing more AI in the background than we think? And so this is little hallucinations, these dates, specifically targeting Sabrina the Teenage Witch and hallucinating the air dates.
Yeah, because for the next two, it's going to tell us that the next episode, if you go by Hulu dates, it says that the next episode airs after the season finale.
Naturally.
And then the season finale airs back in April. So this one and the next episode be after the finale. So yeah, so Hulu is full on crazy, which is wild because you would think that AI would be pulling its information from IMDb, and IMDb is correct. I don't know where the AI is scraping this data from.
Yeah, it scrapes anywhere it can.
Directed by Gary Halverson, and we have Dan Berenson returning as our writer. We have so many guest stars in this one. First up is Fred Stoller as the Warning Man. He is returning from the Diamond Dave episode. He is a little whiny hench guy for Diamond Dave.
Oh.
Can't remember what his name was in that, if he had a name.
Whiny hench guy.
James Kelton is our British merchant. This one was a lot of, again, British shows, I think. Just like Australian shows. I don't know a ton. These are the ones that were top of his IMDb page. Elements of Society, Daddy's Little Girl, Bleeding Hearts, The Arteries of Glenda Bryant, and Shooting Puppies.
Hopefully with camera film.
Nick DeGruccio as passerby from Everybody Loves Raymond, Frasier, and Saved by the Bell, the new class. Deontay Gordon as student from Scrubs. Oh, I actually think Deontay was the body double for Donald Faison in Scrubs, too.
Ooh.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure I remember them talking about that on the podcast, someone named Deontay. So anyway, from Scrubs, The Office, The Callback, and Baby Daddy. Timothy Oman is returning as our Freud from the To Tell Immortal episode. And I didn't mention this in that episode, but he was also the artistic director and associate artistic director for the Riverside Shakespeare Company in New York from 1980 to 1991 and directed and produced over 250 productions with them. Pretty impressive. Mason Lucero as the little boy from I Am Sam, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, ER, Kicking and Screaming, and his face looks so familiar. I know I've seen him and stuff.
It looks like the neighbor kid from Even Stevens.
Wait, there's two little boys. There's a little boy and there's a little kid. The other one, the little kid, is Stephen Anthony Lawrence from Cheaper by the Dozen, the 2003 movie, Cat in the Hat, Kicking and Screaming, and Bubble Boy. I think that's the kid that's screaming that he wants water and won't go to bed.
Yes, and that is Even Stevens as well.
Oh, okay. Yep, it is Even Stevens. You're correct. Yep, okay. Harrison Young as the vagrant from Saving Private Ryan, The Game, Seventh Heaven, and Passions, soap opera of this podcast. David Kirkwood as Bum, which is different than Vagrant, from Judging Amy, Third Rock from the Sun, ER, and Walker, Texas Ranger. Kathy Jensen as Sylvia from Grey's Anatomy, Thin Pink Line, The Pledge, and Emily Autumn's Fight Like a Girl music video. Lastly, we have Stan Yale as Stinky's friend from The Terminator, The Pretender, My Name is Earl, and Dragnet. All right, what were your overall thoughts on this one, Skye?
I liked it. I was enjoying it. It was going along. It was clipping out of pace. And then all of a sudden, the nightmare happened and it got me for a second. I didn't think she was in a dream. I was like, whoa, we just swapped. How is this season ending? Oh my gosh. And so it got me for a good, 2 minutes? And then it was all just a dream. 'Twas but a dream. Alice in Wonderland.
Kudos to the writers. We give them a lot of grief and good job getting Skye on that one. I think it's fun that Mr. Kraft is afraid of peas. That's a good one. I think it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine where someone...
Nine-Nine.
Is that the one where somebody's afraid of snow globes and so they get everybody to give out snow globes for Christmas? No, Google AI. I'm not thinking of the 2007 Disney Channel original movie Snow Globe.
Is it Psych?
It is Psych. It is Psych. Sean overhears Lassie's therapy session where he talks about he has a recurring dream of being trapped in a snow globe. And so he gets everybody to give Lassie snow globes for Christmas. Good job. Thank you. You're smarter than Google AI. Look at you.
I'm just quicker at my search.
And you drink whiskey instead of water.
Hey, I did put a splash of water in this. I'm being fancy.
Nice. Well, there you go.
I'm hydrating.
I'm a little bit annoyed that after so many episodes of like a break from it, we're back to the like, don't do this thing, Sabrina. And then Sabrina does it. And then consequences happen. And she's like, that surely can't be related to the thing I was told not to do. And then consequences. So I'm a little annoyed we're back into that trope. I get it though. It's a teen sitcom. It's always going to happen because otherwise, what would the story be? Overall, though, I think it's fun. Okay, let's get into it. Our cold open. Sabrina walks into the kitchen and Hilda asks why she's home. She's supposed to be working at Pork on a Pole, which is an objectively worse name than Hot Dog on a Stick.
Indeed.
Sabrina says she quit. Everyone tries to guess why, but they're all wrong.
Zelda says, were your working conditions unsafe? Hilda, was your boss a total monster? Salem, you got caught with your hand in the till, didn't ya?
Zelda assures her that no matter what happened, they'll understand. Sabrina zaps herself into her hideous work uniform, complete with hat.
Hilda, upon seeing the outfit, says, within reason, where is your dignity?
That's rich coming from Hilda. Our outfit intro, she is Sherlock and says, tonight, the curious case of the teenage witch. I feel like we could have used that intro in the Suspicious Minds one where Roland is the little detective. But, you know, none of these ever line up with what actually is in the episode. Libby brags about being the first junior to get a class ring. And you get those as a senior, which they should all be by now because we're in our third year since the 10th grade. Sabrina and Valerie pass by with Sabrina commenting how she thinks class rings are ugly, but she has to have one. Do you have a class ring?
I do.
Mine's cute. We got to choose like our styles, so I didn't get like the giant one. Mine's just like a small band with a stone. Did you get a style of yours?
I got to like choose the things on the sides and the color of the stone.
I did get to choose the color because mine's my birthstone. Sabrina can't find a job that doesn't involve polyester or public humiliation. Valerie can't find one that doesn't come with a chicken suit. Although that girl voluntarily dressed up as a duck for Halloween, so I feel like she can't slam the chicken suit too much.
I think it was more the heat of the chicken suit than the chicken suit itself.
She was dancing up a storm in that duck suit. You're trying to tell me that duck suit wasn't roasting?
TV Guide thinks it's summer, whereas in Halloween, that's fall. Seasons.
We don't dress for the seasons in this show. Don't you remember?
Touche.
Mr. Kraft overhears and offers to pay them 75 cents an hour to scrape guano off his bat house. My question being, would his mother/grandmother/whoever he's living with right now allow him to have a bat house?
Absolutely not.
They look at him in disgust, but Sabrina is still thinking about taking the job. Sabrina enters the classroom and overhears Harvey telling a friend he's worried about her finding out about something. And that could have been Gordy. It didn't need to be a random dude we've never seen before. Would have been Gordy. Valerie pulls Sabrina out so she won't eavesdrop.
Sabrina, a girlfriend should not eavesdrop on her boyfriend. Let me do it.
I did like Valerie in this episode. It was a good Valerie episode. Sabrina defends herself and tries to go back to listening, but Harvey walks out the door, surprising her. Sabrina asks if he wants to go job hunting after school. Harvey emphatically says no, then cryptically makes an excuse with vague plans before escaping. Valerie reassures Sabrina that he isn't seeing someone else, but now Sabrina's thinking about that. Zelda and Hilda talk about how Sabrina hasn't solved the family secret yet. And I liked Hilda's curly hair, although her bangs were a little too poofy. Sabrina will be so surprised when she figures it out. Sabrina overhears this and starts eavesdropping, but Salem scolds her.
Sabrina, you're eavesdropping. Sabrina says, it's not eavesdropping, it's controlled overhearing.
Then he tells her she can hear better in the laundry room. She wonders if the aunts will surprise her with a class ring, but they walk in on her and yell no. The aunts scold her about eavesdropping.
Hilda says, you know, it's very rude to eavesdrop on people. Sabrina says, I know. I overheard someone say that.
You never get the full story. Flashback to Hilda in a colonial tavern, overhearing someone saying 500 redcoats are landing tomorrow. She tells someone else the British are going to attack, then goes back to the table to find the men talking about actual coats. And the coats are going for 12 shillings apiece. And how much is 12 shillings in 1776 money today?
100.
This is hard because you have to do the conversion to US dollars and to today. Wow, you can go back to 1270.
Interesting.
Ooh, this one's even more detailed. You can go back to 1209 at the bankofengland.co.uk. This is what I'm going to do with my night. I'm just going to put in different currencies. You're trying to make me do it in pounds. I don't know how many shillings are in a pound. In the 1700s, 12 pence equaled a shilling and 20 shillings a pound. So less than a pound. We're going to do a pound. A pound in 1776 would equal 45 pounds today.
Ooh,
so
that's like 200.
$194.68.
Oh, I got so close with that. That's like 200.
Suddenly, they hear someone yelling, "The British are coming." Flash forward to present day.
Zelda says, and that's how Hilda came to start a little thing we call the American Revolution.
And Hilda defends herself, saying things turned out okay.
For the people who lived.
And there's a weird comment from Sabrina that was like, and everything went fine for Britain since then. Like, that kind of sounded sarcastic, kind of implying that things were not great.
Yeah.
But like, they went through like a whole empire period. So like, things were pretty good for them. Hilda then tells Sabrina to call the Other Realm Employment Agency. A flashback begins, but Sabrina interrupts it to go call.
Can't you guys ever tell a story without the whole room going fuzzy?
As she leaves, a man in a large orange cone costume appears, saying, "Warning, warning, danger, danger."
Hilda says, don't tell me Will Robinson's in trouble. And this is at least our second Lost in Space reference we've had from the writers in this series.
And I think this would be a fun Halloween costume and not that hard to make.
I'll see what I can whip up if I remember.
Like, get a hula hoop for the bottom part and then just like, hula hoop and some orange cloth.
Ta-da!
He was sent by the Witches' Council to tell them to get Sabrina to solve the family secret, or else there will be dire consequences for the ants. The Cone Man disappears and Sabrina walks back in. She made an appointment at the Other Realm Employment Agency. Hilda suddenly yells that she will not leave the house until she solves the family secret. Zelda agrees, calling her young lady.
And you know when I call you young lady, I mean business.
They walk off, leaving Sabrina confused. Zelda and Hilda walk into the family room, and the Cone Man appears again. They can't force her to solve the secret. They have to motivate her without preventing her from leading a normal life. And since they are confused by this, I'm wondering if this was a law just passed in the recent election.
Maybe.
Because they don't seem to know that it exists. They're breaking the rules.
Zelda, shocked, says, I never break rules. I'm not even comfortable making a right turn on red.
He zaps in a large amount of film strips of all the rules and reminds them again that the consequences will be dire.
Talking about the film strips, he says, we're hoping to get it on microfiche by the end of the year. And don't forget, the consequences will be, ants say, dire. And then he finishes up with, but nothing compared to the consequences of if you don't return those rewound. Don't forget, people. Be kind, rewind. Microfiche is a type of microform media there. It is typically 4 inches by 6 inches that contains between 60 and 400 images depending on the document. Images are compressed super teeny tiny there, and it's still used today along with other forms of microform in archives, museums, and libraries there, especially since even with technology, you can have like digital decay of those digital assets, and you could never guarantee that software that plays the asset will be around in X many years there. So microform and microfiche are still important parts of record and media keeping to this day.
Have you ever had to use microfiche?
I have not.
I think I did once for a school project because it was for something old and that's all it was located on. And then I was like, I don't like this. Back to books. Microfiche. Zelda and Hilda return to the kitchen where Sabrina confronts them with their contradictory instructions to get a job, but then not leave the house until she solves the family secret. The ants go back to supporting her in getting a job, leaving Sabrina even more confused.
Okay, now I've got to get a job, solve the family secret, and find out if senility is hereditary. At which point, my guess for the family secret is every member of the Spellman family is born with a senile mind.
Is that going to be the same one for your end tag one too?
We'll see.
Sabrina is at her appointment and hands over her resume.
Sylvia says, Doll, I once got Pauly Shore his own series. I can help you. Pauly Shore is an American comedian and actor best known for his performances in 1990s comedy films such as Encino Man, Son-in-Law, Class Act, In the Army Now, and Biodome. Maybe most importantly, in 1995, he voiced the character of Robert Bobby Zimmerowski in a Goofy movie.
Also, we've talked about Pauly Shore on this podcast before because Scott McLean, who played Man in Dummy for Love, was camera operator for Pauly Shore's Vegas is My Oyster.
Oh, full circle.
Like, I swear we've talked about Pauly Shore before because I remember like looking him up and was like, I always forget that's what Pauly Shore looks like. And I've already forgotten again what he looks like. I'm not going to look it up now, though. The woman says she can't help Sabrina because she has no experience.
And she says, and Congress isn't in session right now.
At which point I said, Sabrina absolutely has experience. She's had at least 2 babysitting jobs. She worked at the slicery for like 2 days, and she was a hall monitor. She has experience doing things. And then the woman says, wait, Sabrina can be a Sandman. It's like a paper route where you put the people in your neighborhood asleep at night. Sabrina accepts, but asks if there's a uniform. The woman zaps Sabrina into old-timey pajamas. Zelda and Hilda are watching the tapes of all the rules on the family secret.
The very last rule is, nor is it permissible to strike your teen with lightning.
I mean, I feel like that should just be a blanket rule, not just a family secret rule. They finally finished, and Hilda was right. There is no rule against using rabid Packer fans to motivate your teen. Sabrina appears in a young boy's bedroom at night as he screams that he wants a glass of water. Sabrina quickly douses him with sleep sand and then touches him. Suddenly, she's inside his dream, which is a ball pit. She removes her hand from him and returns to the real world. She touches him again and returns to the ball pit where the balls are candy. And I put in a note saying, did I ever tell you the story about Hugh Jackman's blue balls? Or were you there at the museum for that one?
I don't think so.
So Hugh Jackman did a concert tour at one point, and he had to stop in Salt Lake City, and the place I worked was directly across the street, and he used like blue ball pit balls at some point. I don't know if they fell from the ceiling. I don't know how they were used. And then afterwards, they didn't want to haul them around, and so apparently they came to the museum and were like, hey, do you guys want these balls? And we used them in one of the exhibits going forward. And we had Hugh Jackman's blue balls.
Oh, did we use that on like the magnet wall with the tubes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that thing.
Thanks, Hugh Jackman. Your blue balls.
Thinking about that, I'm like, was that true or was someone lying to me? Someone may have lied to me. Hilda oils the hinges on Sabrina's bedroom door, and now they squeak, solve the family secret, when opened or closed. That was pretty close to how it's, well, in my head, that's how it sounded.
That was pretty good.
Zelda is ready to work on the fresco over Sabrina's bed, which we never see. They never do a fresco. Oh, do you think they do it on the ceiling?
Mm-hmm.
Never mind then. Although I would like to see that fresco.
I would too.
Sabrina has finally put Valerie to sleep.
Well, she was hard to get to sleep. I had to use so much sand on her, she could be used as a bank ashtray.
Valerie is clearly not having a restful slumber, and Sabrina decides to see what she's dreaming about. She finds herself in Valerie's dream that she has to take a test she hasn't studied for, and her whole grade depends on it. Suddenly, Valerie is naked. The dreams I hate are the ones where I'm back in college, and it's the end of the semester, and you have to do the final or whatever, and it's like, I've never come to this class once in my entire life. And mine are always athletic-based. It's always like tennis or swimming.
I don't know if I've ever had a test-based dream, at least not that I can recall.
I have tried to solve math problems in my dreams before, and I wake up and I'm like, yes. And then I start writing it. I'm like, no, that is nonsense. We flash to Mr. Kraft's dream where he's counting peas for the Jolly Green Giant.
And remarks that he's a cruel taskmaster.
I want to talk about Jolly Green Giant really quickly. He is the mascot for B&G Foods / Green Giant and Le Sueur from Minnesota Valley Canning Company. He came about because they found a new type of pea, a new variety of pea called the Prince of Wales. They were oblong, wrinkled, and as peas go, huge.
Oh.
Despite their size, they were tender and had a special flavor and sweetness that couldn't be matched, but nobody wanted to can them. And so Minnesota Valley was like, fine, we're going to can them ourselves. And they called them Green Giant. And the original mascot was an angry caveman wearing a bear skin. And this was 1925. And then in 1935, a copywriter guy was like, let's rebrand. And made him smiling and gave him the leaf outfit and put the word jolly in front of it. And then in 1946, they did like a whole background story for Jolly Green Giant, and they appropriated some indigenous people's tales to do
Naturally.
so, as you did. In Blue Earth, Minnesota, there is a 55-foot fiberglass statue of the Jolly Green Giant.
Should we go to Minnesota?
Absolutely think we're going to Minnesota. And I'm going to tell you when we're going to go to Minnesota. But first, this statue was so big that it had to be transported in pieces because of his like hands on his hip stance. His arms had to be attached later.
Power pose.
And had to be like shipped in on their own trucks. The reason I'm going to tell you when we're going to go to Minnesota is because every weekend following the 4th of July is Blue Earth's major summer festival, Giant Days.
What happens in Giant Days?
I don't know, and I don't really care. I just want to go.
Okay.
Every year during Giant Days, green footsteps are painted on the sidewalks throughout downtown Blue Earth.
Well, there we go. There's one thing that happens during Giant Days.
Giant Days. And then they don't talk about Sprout, but Sprout is like his little, like tiny little buddy. I don't know if it's supposed to be his son or what, but they don't talk about Sprout at all in this article about the Jolly Green Giant.
That's rude.
Right?
It's just a little guy.
Oh, since 1972, he has had a young apprentice, the little green Sprout, who represents the consumer.
Oh, I don't want to be a little green sprout.
I was adamant about doing the Jolly Green Giant. So
I can tell.
I feel like we've gotten away from fun mascots like that. And that is our American heritage. Bring it back. Give it back to us. We flash to Salem, dreaming about becoming a member of the Rat Pack.
He says, "It's such a gasser to be named a member of the Rat Pack, baby. Now that it's official, how do we ditch Lawford?" Now, the Rat Pack, and all of this comes from Wikipedia to cite my sources. The Rat Pack was an informal group of singers that, in its second iteration, ultimately made films and appeared together in Las Vegas casino venues. They originated in the late 1940s and early 1950s as a group of A-list show business friends, such as Errol Flynn, Nat King Cole, Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra, and others who met casually at Holmby Hill's home of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. In the 1960s, the group featured Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Joey Bishop, and, before falling out with Sinatra in 1962, Peter Lawford, among others. They appeared together on stage and in films in the 1950s and 60s, including the films Ocean's 11 and Sergeant's 3. After Lawford's expulsion, they filmed Robin and Seven Hoods with Bing Crosby in what was to have been Lawford's role. Sinatra, Martin, and Davis were regarded as the group's lead members after Bogart's death in 1957. Now, more titillating, the drama between Lawford and Frank Sinatra. So, Peter Lawford, who was the brother-in-law of John F. Kennedy, was originally cast as Alan A. Dale in the film Robin and the Seven Hoods, but was replaced by Bing Crosby following a break in Frank Sinatra's relationship with Lawford. The break stemmed from a scheduled visit to Sinatra's home by Lawford's brother-in-law, President Kennedy, during a 1962 West Coast trip. Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy, who had long been concerned about Sinatra's rumored ties with underworld figures, encouraged the president to change his plans and stay at Crosby's home, which, it was maintained, could provide better security for the president. The change came at the last minute after Sinatra had made extensive arrangements for the promised and eagerly awaited presidential visit, including the construction of a helipad, which he later destroyed in a fit of rage. Sinatra was furious, believing that Lawford had failed to intercede with the Kennedys on his behalf and banished him from the Rat Pack.
That took a turn I was not expecting.
Oh, but wait. Sinatra and Lawford's friendship was over. They only spoke when Sinatra called after his son, Frank Sinatra Jr., was kidnapped on December 8th, 1963, and he needed the help of Lawford's brother-in-law, Robert F. Kennedy, then Attorney General.
Wow, that Kennedy connection, while it should not surprise me, did surprise me. Also, how does one destroy a helipad?
Great question.
Did he like Hulk out?
Sledgehammer, 1 inch at a time.
He Jolly Green Gianted.
With all his little sprouts being his Rat Pack minions.
There was definitely some cocaine in that rage, I'm assuming. There was something illegal enhancing in there. Wow, okay, Kennedys. If only RFK Sr. were alive now. What would our lives have been like if JFK never got shot and RFK never got shot? Probably be living in utopia. Now we're going to go to Libby's dream. She dreams about walking down the hall at school, calling everyone losers, freaks, or geeks. Every day at high school is a dream come true for her. Libby spots a spill, and 2 boys throw themselves on the floor on it, and she walks on top of them. Lastly, we flash to Zelda dreaming about making out with George Washington. Suddenly, Zelda turns around and spots Sabrina.
While she's making out, she says, "Oh, George, watch the splinters." Now, let's talk about George Washington's fake teeth. A lot of times people say we're wooden teeth, but that is a myth. This little snippet comes from mountvernon.org itself, where actually if you visit Mount Vernon, you can see one of his many pairs of dentures, and they look disgusting. So here we go. Next to the cherry tree legend, the story that George Washington wore wooden dentures arguably remains the most widespread and enduring myth about Washington's personal life. While Washington certainly suffered from dental problems and wore multiple sets of dentures composed of a variety of materials, including tin, gold, lead, and human teeth. Wood was never used in Washington's dentures, nor was it commonly employed by dentists in his era. Nevertheless, even into the mid-20th century, scholars published studies of Washington describing his false teeth as being crafted out of wood. Today, older adults still remember being taught this tale in school, and the National Museum of Dentistry, the Mount Vernon Estate and Gardens, and the Papers of George Washington Project at the University of Virginia find these mythical dentures a common subject of interest for visitors. The origin of this myth remains unclear. The standard and most likely explanation given by dental scientists and historians is that the materials employed in the dentures fabricated for Washington by dentist John Greenwood became stained over time, giving them a grained wooden appearance that misled later observers. Indeed, in a 1978 letter to Washington, Greenwood emphasized the importance of cleaning these dentures regularly after examining ones Washington had used and sent to him for repair. In the letter, he says, "The set you sent me from Philadelphia was very black. Port wine being sour takes off all the polish." The now discredited story of Washington's wooden teeth does reflect elements of truth, however. For instance, in one version of this myth, Washington carved the wooden teeth himself, and it is true that on occasion he made his own repairs to the dentures made by Greenwood. Furthermore, the myth of the wooden teeth remains the only myth associated with the major founder that calls attention to the individual's physical frailty and thus serves as a reminder of the genuine struggles Washington experienced as he sacrificed his health in public service. Washington did actually experience great discomfort and facial distortion with his cumbersome dentures. Moreover, the belief that Washington had to use teeth made out of ordinary wood as opposed to the technologically advanced and expensive contraptions he actually did wear helps make Washington more accessible to the general public as a common person with everyday struggles. Perhaps this myth has endured because it balances Washington's imposing status in American history and the idealized images of the man presented in other myths like the cherry tree legend, and in doing so, humanizes an individual who may often seem remote and statuesque. The faces you made while I was reading that was probably some of the faces that Washington made with his uncomfortable teeth.
Okay, imagine your teeth are so gross looking that people assume they're made of wood.
This is who Zelda's making out with.
Future potential politicians, if you want to seem humble, tell people your teeth are wood.
Yeah, just like one of us.
You know, Kevin O'Leary wants his data center built so badly out here. Maybe if he just had some wood teeth, we'd be like, he's just like me. Zelda and Hilda lecture Sabrina about dream dropping. Dreams reveal the innermost thoughts, feelings, and desires of a person, and her presence could influence the course of events for that person's life. Sabrina half-heartedly apologizes. Hilda tells her she's in big trouble, but gives her some hot cocoa with the words, "Solve it," spelled out in tiny marshmallows.
Sabrina says, "Does this have anything to do with the 24 cheese heads passed out in the living room?"
And just for our international listeners, although the Manitobans may know this already, cheeseheads refer to Green Bay Packer fans. Green Bay Packers are an NFL team. If you're an international fan, you didn't know what that meant. That's what that means. Sabrina catches up with Valerie at school the next day and attempts to reassure her that she's smart and shouldn't worry so much, which I feel is what we've told Valerie so many times over the course of the last 2 seasons. Then Mr. Kraft walks by and Sabrina grabs him to ask if his tie is pea green.
When Sabrina grabs him, he says, "Not now, Spellman. There's a situation in the teacher's lounge. The school nurse fell asleep smoking and set fire to the couch. Again."
She taunts him further by saying the soup at lunch is split pea and finishes it off by zapping peas into his handkerchief. Mr. Kraft breaks down. Sabrina laughs and promises herself not to use dream dropping for her own amusement again. Libby comes down the hallway, insulting everyone as she goes. Sabrina stops her to congratulate her on graduating early. Libby is flabbergasted and goes to talk to Mr. Kraft. Harvey tries to sneak by Sabrina, but she sees him and asks if everything is okay. He makes another vague excuse as to why he couldn't talk to her yesterday and leaves. I give Sabrina a lot of flack for her lying, but she is better at it than Harvey. At least she comes up with excuses. They don't make sense, but she She does come up with them.
Good old-fashioned effort.
Sabrina decides to try dream dropping on him and zaps a thermos of espresso into his locker that Harvey happily drinks. Harvey is lying in bed, wide awake. Sabrina appears as the Sandman and puts him to sleep, but Salem has stowed away in her bag.
Salem, what are you doing in my bag? And it better not be what I saw you doing in the Flanagan sandbox.
He's there to make sure she doesn't do something, but he can't remember.
He says, never tell me anything when I'm watching VIP. VIP was an American action comedy drama television series starring Pamela Anderson, Molly Culver, and Sean Baker, and it was in syndication for 4 seasons from 1998 to 2002. In VIP, Anderson stars as Valerie Irons, a woman who accidentally saves a celebrity and then is hired by a real bodyguard agency. Throughout the series, her lack of investigation skills end up defeating the antagonists in every episode somehow.
Sabrina and Salem pop into Harvey's dream. Harvey is running in slow motion towards his French textbook.
And Salem has a comment during this sequence of, I was a teenage boy once, and let me tell you, he wasted a dream.
Imagine, we could have had Gordy's dreams.
Oh, that would have been great.
He's just worried about their test, and it has nothing to do with Sabrina. Sabrina zaps Dream Harvey, and he is able to run to the book and grab it. Harvey exclaims in French, and Sabrina realizes she needs to study. Sabrina and Salem exit the dream and return to Harvey's room, where he is peacefully sleeping and sucking his thumb. And if you were a 1930s detective, that might seem sexy to you. Sabrina and Harvey walk down the hallway at school, and he says he thinks he aced his French test. And the lighting is weirdly dark in this hallway scene, where it looks like almost a panel of lights went out. And then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? That's probably historically accurate for how Mr. Kraft spends their school funding, because he would not spend it on lights for the kids.
That's true.
Sabrina asks if he wants to go out after school since he no longer has to worry about the test. He snaps at her to stop asking him and that he can't go out after school. Valerie peers around the corner and watches this go down, then joins a worried Sabrina. They both think Harvey is seeing someone else. Sabrina rants to Salem about her Harvey problem. He tells her that dreams are symbolic and have to be interpreted.
Like when I'm dreaming about 1,000-pound tuna, I'm really dreaming about salmon.
His friend Freud knows how to interpret dreams. Sabrina zaps him in. Salem greets him, and Freud asks how his wife is. Freud's wife. I didn't know how to, write this sentence, and then I gave up. Salem remembers they weren't actually friends. So while Hilda was hooking up with Freud, Salem was hooking up with Freud's wife.
Yep.
Maybe that's how they met.
Yes. Get on a therapy couch and unpack that.
Zelda knocks.
Salem says, the cops! Get rid of him!
And Sabrina stuffs Freud in the closet. Zelda comes in to find Salem and Sabrina sitting on the bed. Sabrina claims she's trying to solve the family secret.
And Salem says, I'm just batting at dust particles because I think they're real.
Zelda has a new clue from cousin Stanislav. And we get no more information on this cousin. Sabrina shoves Zelda out of the room so she can take Freud to Harvey's. Hilda asks Zelda how it went, and Zelda informs her that Freud is hiding in Sabrina's closet.
Hilda says, Freud? Huh, that man will do anything to see me again. You know, he might have a brilliant mind, but with me, he was all hands.
And I am so proud we got continuity. Not only continuity, but continuity from season 2.
Whoa, a whole season ago.
The first half of season 2. Sabrina, Freud, and Salem watch Harvey sleep fitfully.
Sabrina says, see, something's obviously bothering him, to which Salem says, it couldn't be the crowd of people standing around him every night.
Sabrina brings them all into the dream where all white clowns dance around the school cafeteria.
Salem says, I think you accidentally zapped us into a Calvin Klein commercial.
Harvey struggles to carry a large amount of baggage. Freud claims it's his emotional baggage. There's also a crying child, which is Harvey's inner child. Then a giant banana floats by. Freud summarizes that Harvey is clearly overwhelmed by all the pressure in his life. Sabrina zaps a luggage cart in for the bags and an ice cream cone for the child. They all exit the dream to Harvey now sleeping peacefully, and Freud also with an ice cream cone. Freud points out the thumb sucking. Plot hole, because Sabrina hits Harvey's hand to get his thumb out of his mouth and she doesn't enter the dream again.
That is a plot hole.
Sabrina enters her bedroom to find Hilda and Zelda waiting for her. They ask where Freud is. Sabrina attempts to change the subject.
Why do we still have daylight savings?
But Zelda accuses her of dream dropping. Sabrina reluctantly admits it. She was just trying to help Harvey out. The aunts don't push and tell her she'll just have to live with the consequences. They leave as Sabrina uses the sleep dust on herself, suddenly asking about the consequences just before passing out.
And Hilda says to Zelda, sounds just like you before the surgery. What surgery, Hilda? Could it be to remove something that maybe you're born with? As a spellman, what surgery is this?
I had nasal polyp surgery. I'm assuming that's what it would be. The snoring.
The way she says the surgery, though, like, I'm taking it as a clue.
Okay. Sabrina joins Valerie in her cheerleader outfit and asks her about the math homework. Sabrina really struggled with it. Valerie didn't care to do it. She tells Sabrina not to be such a worrywart. 2 orderlies cart Mr. Kraft out in a straitjacket. The drama club wanted to put on Princess in the PE, and he lost it. Sabrina is in denial about this being the consequences of her dream dropping.
This is a coincidence. That man was a time bomb.
I mean, true. Harvey comes up, now relaxed and clear-headed.
When I woke up this morning, everything was as clear as day. Partially because it was day.
He pulls her aside and breaks up with her. Sabrina yells as he walks away. Sabrina is back home telling the aunts what happened and admits she was wrong, and then begs for them to fix it. Zelda tells her there's nothing they can do. They warned her, but she doesn't remember any warning. Suddenly, Cone Man appears, declaring, warning, warning, danger, danger. The Cone Man tells her that her time to solve the family secret has expired. Sabrina yells at the aunts, asking why they didn't tell her to work on the family secret. Both aunts bang their heads on the table. Sabrina runs upstairs and adds the new clue to the family secret board. It's a picture of her.
Hilda remarks, in a very cheap frame.
Sabrina tries to solve it and ends up with, every member of the Spellmans are related to me, which is a worse guess than I think the majority of your guesses.
Whoa. Why do you have to be so harsh?
I said her guess was worse than yours.
A majority, which means I have some that were worse.
There were a couple that were just like nonsense words in a row that were not actually a sentence.
You know what's nonsense words in the row? That family secret board.
You have most of it.
At the time, it was M plus fire.
Cone Man tells Sabrina she's wrong and now needs to face the consequences. Zelda tells Sabrina she's now no longer a witch. Sabrina can't believe she lost her boyfriend and magic all in one day. Cone Man pipes in that she also lost her home. Sabrina and the aunts are all shocked.
Cone Man says, I said the consequences were going to be dire. It's the suit, isn't it? That's why no one takes me seriously.
A mortal can't live with witches. The Cone Man gives her $20 to help her out. Sabrina turns to hug her aunts, but it turns into a strange man in a bus station. She screams for her aunts. She approaches a man for help getting home. He asks her if she has any money, and she shows him her $20. He grabs it and runs off. She tries to zap him, but she can't. She collapses onto a bench, but a man is already sleeping there. She has to sit on the floor by the grate, but there's already a man living underneath it. Suddenly, she's hit in the head by a giant floating banana. She puts it together that she's dreaming. She wakes up in her bed with the ant standing over her. It was all a dream. She still has Harvey, her magic, and her home. They did it to show her how destructive dream dropping can be and to motivate her to solve the family secret. Sabrina says she should have known it was a dream when the annoying cone guy appeared, but he suddenly appears for real. He hands the ants a ticket. They have 30 days to help Sabrina solve the family secret, or there will be a $25 fine. Cone Guy admits that maybe dire wasn't the right word, but it did light a fire under them. Zelda and Hilda light his cone costume on fire. Sabrina answers the door to Valerie, who has figured out what Harvey was doing after school every day. She drags him in wearing a pork on a pole uniform. RN tag. Sabrina puts on her pork on a pole uniform. She decided a class ring was more important than her self-respect. Disagree. Hard disagree. You know, the last time when I wore my class ring?
Senior in high school.
I think it may have been like halfway through freshman year of college. And I realized nobody cares about this. She also got the same shift as Harvey. Salem still thinks she should have kept her Sandman job, but she got fired. Salem wonders who the new person could be. We cut to Hilda in Mr. Kraft's dream, shooting peas at him. That is our episode.
We did it.
Yay!
It was a fun one.
I like the Mr. Kraft part of it. I think it's fun. I do think it's a good ending to have Hilda torturing Mr. Kraft, but I think it would have been, had they not had so many other guest stars, to have like dreams from different characters, like a Gordy, a Miss Quick.
Yeah.
We didn't see Hilda's dreams, like just to see a bunch of other people's dreams would have been fun too. All right, what's your new title for this one, Skye?
Don't really have a good one, but Dreamweaver, the song has been stuck in my head this entire time since watching it, so we're gonna go with that.
All right, we got another clue, although you didn't really need this one. What is the family secret? Solve the family secret.
Solve it right now. So every member of the Spellman family is born with I don't know. You seem sort of bleh about my surgery idea, so I don't know if it's a physical ailment per se, but also the good and bad parts of all of them, which parts could be physical ailment or it's psychological.
There's good and bad parts in all of us, and we all need a tumor to be removed. That's
Exactly.
the bad part.
They have devil horns on their head that have to be removed.
They're Mormons? We're going with something needs to be surgically removed.
Yes.
They're born with something that needs to be surgically removed. Okay. Our next episode is season 3, episode 24, Silent Movie. What do you think this one's going to be about, Skye?
I think there's going to be a spell that goes wrong. And suddenly you can't hear anyone, and everyone is doing very Charlie Chaplin-esque silent movie acting.
Okay. Not bad. Not a bad guess. It's a pretty obvious one with that title. Good job. And we get the second to the last clue. We get the very last clue in the season finale. And you literally have like 30 seconds between when she gets it and when she solves it. So like, if you remember, like pause when it's handed to her and try and solve it on your own first. Come almost finish out season 3 with us next week. In the meantime, you can like, share, rate, and subscribe to this podcast. You can email us at somethingwitchypod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at somethingwitchypod. Until next time.
Stay meowgical.